You seem to still be up there somewhere.
Maybe I am. There are flying saucers.
Supposing they're Martians or something in there.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm SubmitWeird, and this is
Cassie.
Cassie. How was we haven't seen ya and for 2 weekends.
Oh, just same old. I was abducted by my father, as you called it. Yeah. It was his birthday. He lives in Arizona, and he was up here visiting. And my brother planned a birthday party dinner for him on Monday, and I found out Sunday night, so I had to miss the Muncie interview, which, Mr. Muncie, I did want to be there. So whatever you thought, I did want to talk to you.
I know you needed that Robert blessing more than anybody I know, I think.
Yes, I have bad luck all the time. He needed to take the curse. So I've never even seen Robert to get the curse, but I think I'm cursed.
Yeah, he might be able to help with that. I don't know. Well, we should
right. Write take other curses away. That's my question mark.
Write him an email and ask him.
I will. I should. Other than that, though, I mean, it's been a lot of house painting at the rental, and then our daughter bought a house, so we've been painting that house because she's getting married in November, and 2 big projects at one time just don't work for 20-year-olds. So,
wow,
yeah. Let's see what else. I went to Old Navy yesterday and bought some clothes because they had their super cash going on. Bought a bunch of band t-shirts because for some reason, the style that is in right now is not my style and never will be. The summer dresses felt like blankets with a picnic table print on them, so I was not buying any of those.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I understand. That's me with bottoms right now. Everything is high rise, and I just can't. That doesn't work for my body type.
See, I like the high rise, but you will never catch me in a pair of those barrel jeans.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody has right now. Those super wide leg jeans.
Yeah.
I'm short. The sizes aren't right.
Yeah, I guess I don't hate that. But like I said, they all go up past your belly button, and that doesn't.
You don't like that? I love that.
The bottom, you already know this, the bottom part of me is an entirely different person than the top part of me.
Oh yeah, I know.
We're not the same size, right? So I can't, to find a size that fits the top part of me.
Oh, I got you.
Right, the bottom part suffers.
I just wear leggings anyways all the time. I don't think I've worn a pair of jeans in God, I don't even know how long.
That's why I like dresses. Yeah,
I buy them all the time, but I don't wear them.
Throw you a dress on, that's it, you're good to go.
Unless you buy it today and it feels like carpet.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Could you imagine going outside like it was today, 90-something degrees, and wearing that heavy-ass carpet dress? No.
No.
This is summer. Why would you make that such heavy summer dress? Oh, God. Ugh.
I don't jive with that. I'm not
itching and sweating, and then you're going to have rashes because you're itching so much while you're sweating.
And you smell bad.
I can't do that.
Greasy everywhere. Yeah.
I really wanted to go see Scary Movie 6, but
same.
So from Saturday to Sunday, this coming Sunday, last Saturday to this coming Sunday, pretty much everybody at my work called off for vacation. Which I can't blame the people that called off because they're all high schoolers. So their parents scheduled the vacations, not them.
Yeah.
But they all scheduled them the same week. So it's all weekend, I worked doubles. And then this weekend coming up, I work doubles. I'm just I don't have any time right now. And then the 20th, I've got a little show at a bike night, but it's a bike day. At that spa that I did the mural on the wall. Their town's doing a motorcycle weekend or something.
Nice.
So I'm trying to draw some creepy motorcycle paintings just for that while I'm doing everything else.
It just never stops.
Right. But I did get my new car. Did I tell you that last time? I don't remember if I had. No, I didn't have it then.
No, I think you did. I thought maybe you just told me personally.
Okay, maybe.
Or the Patreon. We did have our Patreon meetup too, so maybe
Oh
that's
yeah.
either way. You got a new
I can't
car.
even remember. It was right after my show. Maybe I did tell you about that. Yeah, I did have it then. Okay. The
Are
last
you
time I was
enjoying it
on.
still?
Am I what?
Are you enjoying it still?
Okay, I enjoy it. The only thing I don't enjoy is that so there's a little light on the like right in my dash, like I can see it. It's like of a car. And it's green when there's a
Yes.
car in front of you.
Yep.
And then if you're too close to the car, it turns red. But it's not like super close. It's like the legal like 3 car lengths, it turns red. But also it like pushes down the brake itself and the seat
Oh.
starts vibrating and a big red light flashes in the like my window.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the flashing light in the window.
Mhm.
Normally it happens not when there's a car in front of me, but when I'm like going around a curve
Okay.
for whatever reason, it thinks that I'm getting ready to hit a car, and it's like there's no car.
Mine
Um,
did it once and scared the shit out of me when I was pulling into the parking spot at the gas station.
did
I
you
don't
know
know if it
it did
thought I
it?
was going to run into the building or
I know. It's like, watch out, there's a building there. You're like, shit, thanks, car. I wouldn't have seen it otherwise.
right. Like I need to figure out how to turn that off.
Yeah, it happens to me with dumb shit, and it's rarely ever when there's actually a car in front of me. Like it's
yeah.
but it has taught me to kind of stay away from cars more than I probably ride some asses more than I should.
Oh, I'm not going to stop that. I'm just got to get used to the vibrating until I figure out how to turn it off.
I mean, you should though. You're so because if someone hits you from behind and then makes you hit them, and it's still your fault, and laws are bullshit. And it's like, okay, all right, I get it, but
Yeah.
God, it wants you to like stop, like when you're like you said, like 3 car lengths away at like a stoplight, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know the fucking people that don't like pull up to the fucking light,
Yes. God, yeah.
and it's like, why?
Mhm.
Why? I don't understand why.
Or
Can
someone
someone
does pull up to the light, but then the guy behind him like is like 5 cars back and won't
right?
get near it. Like, come on, man.
It's like, why are you? I don't get why you're doing this.
Right.
So somebody explain that to me. Are you that person? Let me know. SubmitWeird at gmail.com. Right to our email. I gotta know. Like, are you that asshole? Why do you do that? Like, the light. You don't trigger the light if you don't pull up to the fucking thing. So
Right.
anyway,
Like it's just doesn't make any freaking sense. And our lights are so fast here for like the turning lane that 1 car can get through. So if the second car is 5 cars behind them already, like I'm going to be waiting 3 freaking lights.
right for just because that asshole didn't pull. I know. I get it. I understand.
I
For
don't.
somebody who really doesn't drive a lot, I sure do have a lot of driving complaints. I'll tell you.
Oh, I have like the least amount of road rage like that I've seen in somebody. Like I don't care when I'm in the car. I'm not going to honk my horn or yell at you or do anything, but like it bothers me.
I cuss a lot while driving. Not necessarily at the other drivers, but
Mhm.
definitely to myself about the other drivers. Like, oh my fucking God, this person's so slow, or okay, speed racer, go ahead, or,
Right.
whatever. I cuss a lot. Me and when Maylee was really little, like really little, we used to play a game where we would cuss out, like scream and like cuss out the other drivers with the windows up.
Oh wow.
And she just thought it was hilarious because she could say bad words and yell at people.
That's cute.
I don't know how I ended up with a child that's actually super nice. That's how I guess I taught her how to get her anger out to herself.
Mhm. I did watch The Crash and it was horribly boring.
Right? You see what I'm saying? It just wasn't, it's
Right.
whatever. It wasn't that interesting.
No,
You
not
know.
at all.
I don't fucking know. I don't know if she did it on purpose, but she probably did. I don't feel like they had enough to convict her of doing it on purpose, but then again, we only saw what we saw. I haven't sat and studied the trial or anything. I have no
Mhm.
idea, and I don't care enough to figure that out.
Right.
So I don't know why it's so popular.
Is it just popular here? Like in Ohio?
It could be that. But I don't know. I see people, I guess, from all over talking about it, but it could be that we're seeing it more
because we're here.
right? Because we're in
Yeah.
Ohio, so we see everybody that talks about it. I don't know. It
Mhm.
wasn't that good. Skip it.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you watch the Reckless Ben stuff?
No.
Oh my god. You have to catch up. You got to get caught up. It's happening. Things are moving.
Okay.
Things are moving.
I was
along.
super I listened to last week's episode, and I was super sad when you said that the identity of Banksy has been revealed and his profit margin went down sufficiently.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but when I found that out, I was like, "What? Really, Banksy? It's not
Right.
popular anymore." But it does make sense. I mean, his whole selling point was the mystery of who he was, and people kind of had an idea of who he was, in their mind.
It was
like-
awesome. He was awesome.
Well,
His
it's like
stuff's still awesome.
I'm sure people listen to the show and they don't know what we look like, and then they find out what we look like, and they're disappointed. I don't.
I know. My mom tells me that every day. No.
Damn, every day. She calls you first thing in the morning just to remind you.
Yep.
You got a face for radio, sweetie. No, I think people are pleasantly surprised. But I've had that, internet personalities or radio personalities that I'm like, what do they look like? And then you find out and you're like, that's not what I thought. But I don't know. It doesn't change my opinion of them.
Right. So what'd you do? Anything?
Yeah, so not really. I mean, I did, but nothing exciting.
Mhm.
I went through the entirety of all of my clothes closet. Well, not all of it, half of it. I'm sorry, I lied. But it felt like all of it because there's just so much. While I get ready for this move and also start to, fit into the clothes that I used to be able to wear before. So that was nice and exciting.
Heck yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, that was really nice. And but no, I have been super deep into this fucking Lego saga. I just can't. I've watched everything about it. Because
Did he
shit has,
release part 3 yet, or is it still just part 2 released?
so it's still just part 2. But other things are happening, like Bricks and Minifigs has put out a statement that they're allegedly willing to work with the Mansell family to try to come up with a resolution about his Legos because they are getting fucked. They're fucked. Their whole company is so fucked. And it should be because fuck them.
Right.
But I don't know if at this point I don't even know if they're going to do it. Ben had created this GoFundMe, and the last time I looked, it was almost $400,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah. His video.
So how much was this Lego collection worth?
So initially they said it was $200,000, but some of the sets during the consignment were sold. And so they're saying that maybe that number is more like $100,000 is what the Mansell family is still owed.
Okay.
Potentially a little less. There was talks that in the very beginning, Brian Mansell went into Bricks and Minifigs and said, give me $80,000 and I'll leave you alone.
Okay.
And, so it's kind of questionable because that was another thing is the Mansells have an inventory of their list, but Bricks and Minifigs claimed that they did not have an inventory of what was there.
How?
Well, now all of a sudden they do have this inventory. Yeah, they lie constantly. They're like, we didn't know anything about. That was the story initially. We didn't know anything about this consignment. It was done fraudulently through the franchisee owner. The franchisee owner at the time when Brian signed up for it they were moving out of the country. So they had called corporate and said, hey, find a buyer for the store. They said, yep, we've got a buyer. Well, the new buyer came and kicked them out immediately.
Mhm.
And took over, and she was she has them on video explaining them there's this consignment deal, and they're like, yeah, we'll take that over, no big deal. Well, then they told Brian they didn't know anything about this consignment deal.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they're, sometimes they go back and forth. Well, we found some sets. It was worth about $30,000. We offered to give it back to them, but they didn't want it. Well, it's because they had more than that there. And they knew it. And then they're like, oh, well, now have found this other spreadsheet of inventory. And the story just changes with them every little bit. And now they're blaming the franchisee owner, saying that she stole them, and it's just a fucking mess. And there's so much proof that that's not what happened, at this point. And so it's just getting crazy. But it's gotten exciting because when the Lego set, you have two different things happening, and the two different things that you have happening is the civil situation between the Mansell family and Bricks and Minifigs.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the situation between Reckless Ben and the American Fork Police Department in American Fork, Utah, where they have violated his civil rights and arrested him unlawfully, and have done all this shit. And it's really insane. And so, initially when Ben had asked for, and this is all in part 2 of his video, but when he had asked for the body cam footage from the police when he was arrested, and they had redacted a bunch of the body cam footage.
Okay.
And had called out the police for doing that. And they were like, yeah, we don't, the woman he talked to, she was like, I don't do that, Ben. So, and he had proof that she did in fact redact shit from the footage. But whatever. Okay. The police department comes out, makes a public statement, makes up a bunch of bullshit, says that they arrested Ben for stalking. And that is his charges of stalking. And, here's the reason why. And they listed their case or whatever. And they're like, we've put all the footage out in this Dropbox file for people to see. But of course, it's the same footage Ben got. It's heavily redacted.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of days later, for some reason, somebody at that police department accidentally uploaded the unredacted footage to the public Dropbox. It was up for an hour, but the internet's been all over this, and so now everybody's got it.
Yes.
They put out a different statement on social media, and they're like, yeah, we accidentally put out some things that the public wasn't supposed to see, so if you could just disregard that, please, that'd be great. That's basically what they said. They're like, just don't look at those. And it's
because that's how that works.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It's just really insane. It's really just grown so big. I think his video's up to 6 million views or something crazy.
Well, okay, my point would be you're a horrible police department if you think you're going to go up against Reckless Ben and get away with dirty stuff that you're going to do to him. Do some research first.
Man, they definitely should have done just a smidge of research, but I don't think they understood. I think at the time, Ben he definitely wasn't as big as he was now. I think he had 100,000 subs on YouTube. He wasn't that big. And I don't think they.
But still, look at the work he does. You're screwed.
Yeah, they're so fucked. And because he shows up at one of the owner's houses and he's just trying to serve him paperwork. And he's doing things in a Ben way. So one of the things, he's trying to serve him court papers to show up to court. And, one of the things that he does to try to get, because if they go and knock on this guy's door, he's not going to answer it.
Right.
So they put a sign up out in front of his house of the guy, and it's, it's like an AI thing, and it says, we steal from old people or whatever. And they're trying to get him, coax him to come out to remove the sign. And then the process server goes up, hands him the paperwork, and then they leave. And so, but instead the guy just keeps calling the police, and they keep showing up, and they keep talking to Ben and the process server. And, at one point the police officer is like, well, here, give me the paper. I'll go serve it to him. And he's like, okay. So the police goes up and talks to the guy. What we see in Ben's video, because it was all redacted, is the officer come back, give Ben the papers, and say he didn't want them. So
how is that a choice?
It's not a choice, right? Exactly. That's illegal. You can't not. And Ben pointed out, he had another video. He's like, literally all they had to do was go to hand him the paper, say you've been served, and he doesn't even have to take it. They just drop it on the ground and then he's been served, and that's it. That's all. And they didn't do that because the guy's like, yeah, I don't want them. They're fake. So they call up the courts and verify if they're fake or not, verify if they've been served. They find out it is a real case. It hasn't been served. And then they go and tell Ben it's already been served. Well, they told the public those papers were already served to the guy already. So they were fake papers for content. It's that's not what happened in the video.
Right.
from your police officer. Anyway, I'm not going to talk everybody to death about it. I just wanted to, keep it fresh in everybody's mind because it's really important, whether you think it is or not. It really is important for us to be aware of, number one, the corporate greed, right?
Right.
These big corporations stealing from a fucking man dying of cancer, right? How often does that shit happen?
Right.
More
And it's
often.
just Legos.
It's just Legos. Yeah, it's just and at this point, it has cost this company way more than it would have for them to just literally hand him $200,000.
Well, it's cost probably the police department way more.
Yes, way more. And they're not gonna survive this. They're just not
No.
going to. That was another thing too. So Ben's primarily making his money off of his Patreon because he gets demonetized and shit on YouTube all the time.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
shit he does. And Bricks and Minifigs has a restraining order now against Ben. And they sent the restraining order with a request to Patreon and requested them to remove Ben's Patreon because he's using it to harass them.
How'd that
And
go?
the CEO of Patreon made a video and it went gloriously. They said, Bricks and Minifigs sent us all this paperwork. They said that, they want this removed. And, unfortunately, if they want us to remove Ben's Patreon, they can stuff it. And that's their exact words. And if they have a problem with it, they can sue us. And Patreon is like a $1 billion company. They're not going to win against Patreon.
No.
So it's been going really well for Ben, but it just gets crazier and crazier. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you care about Legos or not. Like, this is super important to be aware of. And then also, of course, the police corruption is the bigger problem here. We need people to be aware of this type of situation and be on top of it. And it's just a lot of fun too. So that's what
I'm kind of like, see, we need the police, but then there's so many dirty cops. It's like, how do we get them weaned out of there? Like, how do we tell the difference? Because we need the police. Like, that's 100% for sure in this world today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. We definitely need the police, and they do have a very difficult job. But the fact of the matter is that the people that go for that type of job are bad people.
Right.
And that's the issue, is that, they do it for the wrong reasons. It's not because they care about the public and making things better. And of course, that's not every police officer.
Right.
But look at the police track record. It's just the way it is. Corrupt cop is not unusual for any of us to hear.
And it's been like that forever.
Forever. Yeah, forever. I did cocaine with a cop one time. Yeah, I was very afraid. I thought we were being busted, and instead he sat down and was like, "Is it my turn yet?"
Oh, wow.
That's just, it's something that we're all aware of, but we shouldn't turn a blind eye to. And like I said, this is kind of a way that if you're not familiar with any of this, it can make it fun for you to learn. So check it out. Keep checking it out. Put it on the background. Don't even, you don't even have to listen to it. Just put Ben shit on in the background. He needs all the support he can get. He's got a terrible legal battle ahead of him. He's being charged with felonies and all kinds of stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah, he'll make it.
I hope so. But yeah, that's what I did. Speaking of Patreon, we have some new Patreon members joined.
Yeah.
And definitely want to shout them out. Shout out to Chris and also Sherwin. Sherwin, you guys know, he was on the show not too long. Trying not to rhyme, but he was on the show not too long ago. And he makes tons of art stuff. And of course, Chris, thank you for listening and wanting to support us and what we do.
We love you guys.
You're our favorite humans out of everybody. You're the favorites.
That's a lot of humans.
Favorite humans out of the whole world. All right. News? Did you bring some news? I have two newses.
So do I.
Oh, I wonder if they're the same.
Right. I know one of it is not the same, because you know how I get my news.
I got some pretty wacky news. So
Both of them?
Both of them are very wacky.
Okay, well then I don't think they're the same.
Let's see what they are. First one is a Brazilian family adopts a 37-year-old woman thinking she's a 12-year-old girl.
Definitely don't have that one, but
Ooh, good.
I think they made an ID show about that in the U.S.
They made a whole movie. It's called The Orphan.
Oh yeah, and it was The case of Natalie something on the ID channel.
You mean
Natalia.
But she's not. She's actually was a child.
Right.
That whole story, man, I've been through that one. That one's insane. I'd like to cover it one day too, because that's really pitiful and depressing. But this one is not that. This one is genuinely a 37-year-old woman posing as a 12-year-old girl. So her name is, I'm going to try this out again. It's Brazil. It's Amanda Maria Souza de Oliveira.
Sounds good to me.
She shows up to a local church claiming to be a runaway fleeing an abusive situation. Okay. And the church is like, oh my God, well, we got to help this child. And, they kind of take her in until, they had a local family in their congregation say, we'll take her in. It's not a big deal. And she continued to live with the family for 14 months. They thought that she was an autistic child who had been given hormone treatments by her abusive family because she does very much look like an adult, and she's also a very big woman.
Okay.
And she's like, well, I look like that because that was part of the abuse, as I was given this terrible hormone treatment. And they're like, oh my God, you poor thing.
Usually, abusive families don't spend the extra money to do things to their children they are abusing.
Abuse them? Yeah, right. They usually don't give a shit enough. But, you know, she did things like she talked in a really high-pitched voice, and she used pacifiers and baby bottles, which is weird. I mean,
that's a mental illness.
It is. It's a mental illness. And
because at 12, you don't do that.
No, like something is wrong. But I mean, I suppose if you're an extremely abused 12-year-old, okay, maybe, but she's like clearly not 12. They did great things for her. They threw her an extravagant, because actually when she showed up, she claimed to be 11 and she had a birthday, and they threw an extravagant birthday party. They didn't enroll her into school because she said, well, I don't want you to do that because then my abusive family will find me. And they bought it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, good point. But, some of the family and friends weren't buying it. So they had started kind of investigating this person a little bit, and they had actually found cases that were similar because this woman has done this twice before.
No.
Twice before. In one of the situations, she was having a condition in the family's care where needles were emerging from all over her body. What? And they were like, what the fuck? So they took her to the doctor, and she had like a full body scan. There were more than 200 needles in her body.
In her body?
In her body, inside of it. And the doctors were like baffled, like, what in the fuck is this? Which of course, now upon further investigation, they believe that this was part of her whole scheme, that she did it. She put these needles in her body, and then they would emerge, and maybe she would blame it on her abusers, or she had a mystery illness that she was getting attention. We don't really know.
Like,
why she
needles just like under the skin, or like she swallowed them, or like what?
I'm assuming under the skin. They didn't really go into too much detail about it, and the language barrier, I think, makes it weird too.
Okay.
But they just said they found over 200 needles in her body.
Wow.
So right now she's facing a multitude of fraud charges, and the family is like, well, what the fuck? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I should try to get adopted. I'm younger than 37. I could do that.
Yeah, but you're definitely not going to pass for 12.
No. Well, yeah, but I was given hormone treatments, obviously. She wasn't passive for 12 either. You can Google this story and go see pictures of the woman. She looks old. It's fucking weird.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Google that bitch. Yeah, it is Brazilian family adopts 37-year-old woman thinking she's a 12-year-old girl. That's what I said. That's my headline. But yeah, she looks like an older woman. I don't know how they fell for this anyway. I mean, that's just, I suppose people are just trying to be nice, but like, why even have to say that you're a child? Just admit I'm an adult with mental health issues.
Whoever adopted this woman's an idiot. This is not a 12-year-old by any means.
Right. She's definitely an almost 40-year-old woman. Like,
right.
It's fucking weird.
Wow.
I don't know. So that's my first news. That's what I got for you.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the more serious one because I got one like serious one and one like stupid one.
Oh, okay.
So the what was it called? The Old West End Festival in Toledo.
Yes.
There was a shooting that injured 12 people.
Yeah.
The ages of the people were 14 to 61. There was one 14-year-old, two 16-year-olds, 20-year-old, two 22-year-olds, a 24-year-old, two 29-year-olds, a 36-year-old, a 57-year-old, and a 61-year-old who were all injured in this shooting that the police think was just there's at least two shooters that were shooting at each other, and they obviously missed each other a lot of times and shot all these people that were at this family-friendly festival in Toledo. One male, he's 18, was taken into custody for questioning today, Monday. But as of right now, there's no charges released that have been pressed. So who knows if he was even involved in it. But that's crazy because, like, that's what I do. Like, that's what you do. We do festivals. Family festivals.
You know, if I told you that I wasn't absolutely freaking out at Frogman when the fire alarm got pulled, I would be totally lying. Like,
Exactly.
I was terrified. I was
Right.
like, oh my God, this is it. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to run outside so they can pick us off.
Right.
You know, because you just can't fucking go anywhere nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really sad. And that wasn't even, there was a different Ohio situation. I think it was last weekend at a different festival, at a fucking Catholic church festival. I don't think anybody was shot, but somebody was waving around their gun or whatever. And it's like, you can't fucking go anywhere, dude.
Right.
So
I don't know, like, if all 12 of them were shot. It says 12 of them were injured. I'm assuming it was by the bullets. 2 of them were in critical condition. They have stabilized as of today, so they're out of the, like, foggy zone, so they're good. They'll be good.
A trampling.
Yeah.
You know, an injury trying to get away or whatever. But, you know, it's just wild. I know this is definitely an ongoing investigation right now. So, you know, things are still kind of emerging from it. But yeah, it is. It's really scary. And, you know, it sucks. We shouldn't live in a world that's like that.
And, like, honestly, you can't blame the police department because all the festivals that I've been to for, like, the stuff that we do, there's, like, no cops.
No. Never.
So, I mean, they weren't there. They couldn't have seen the people. That's why they're investigating it now. But with all the people that I saw in the pictures, there had to be a phone out. Somebody had to have had a video or a picture of these people. Like, come on, come clean.
Yeah. Well, I know that Jeff for Frogman next year, and I'm assuming going forward, is hiring police to come work the event. And I think that's
a good idea.
It's a fantastic idea, and I think that, you know, all these other event organizers need to get on board with that, because you got to make sure people are safe, and I mean that's going to keep people away is not having some type of security, some type of safety. You know, and people have this argument of, you know, well, you can stop a bad guy with a gun by, you know, being a good guy with a gun, and I was reading this study that says that, you know, good guys with guns don't stop these events. Do you know why? Do you know why they don't? It's because they're good guys with guns, and the reality of it is that it's fucking hard to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Even if they're doing something terrible, because you're a good person.
Like, I was reading the comments, and one of the comments said, guns don't kill people don't kill people with mental illnesses kill people.
Well, and that part's true too.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty much correct.
You know, that's what it comes down to. I mean,
you don't just wake up and want to kill people.
I'm very liberal. I'm not one of the no guns allowed liberals.
Right.
We do have way too many fucking guns though in America, and way too many people that can just freely get them. I think that's a problem. But you know, I do think that it has its time and place for everything, but yeah, given the opportunity, I mean, are you really going to be able to shoot someone? Because I probably couldn't.
Yeah, no.
You know, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want that on my conscience the whole rest of my life. You know, I couldn't kill somebody. We're not wired that way. You know? So, and that's good. That's a good thing. But there are people who are wired that way, and they just don't give one fuck. And we got to figure that shit out. Like we got to do something about that. I don't know what, but it's maybe in my lifetime something will change.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. But yeah, that's terrible news.
Yeah, it was awful.
Thanks for sharing, but it's
Yeah.
terrible news. Yeah. Oof, gosh. Well, let's go back. Let's more gun violence though. Let's go back to a sillier story. Maybe it's the same story. We don't know yet. But cop pulls gun on colleague for heating up fish in department's briefing room microwave.
He should have a gun pulled on him. That shit's nasty.
This took place at the Myrtle Beach Police Department, where Deputy Michael, I think it's DeBias, I don't know. He was there, and his nostrils were offended. So he went sniffing around to find the culprit. He found a coworker heating up some fish in the company microwave, and the conversation got very heated. Obviously, they were definitely yelling at each other, and Deputy Michael pulled out his gun, pointed it at the person, his company issued rifle, right? So his actual police firearm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been arrested now, and he is facing felony charges because it's illegal to do that when you're gunning somebody, I guess. I don't know. I get it, and I'm a big so I'm pescatarian. I don't eat meat except for fish, not because of any moral choices, just because I don't like most meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big fish eater, and I would never do that to people. That's rude. But at the same time,
they are Myrtle Beach police officers. Do not heat up fish if you live in Myrtle Beach. Go outside to any corner, walk into any restaurant, order fresh fish.
Yeah, get your fresh fish, yeah. But it's still kind of a little bit of an overreaction on the deputy's part. Maybe somebody like that shouldn't be a police officer.
I didn't shoot the guy.
He didn't shoot the guy, but
it's kind of like Hangover. His defense is going to be, "Did you die though?"
Right. Wasn't going to shoot him. I just wanted him to know to never do this shit again.
Right.
And he probably won't. I mean, I don't know. It's or maybe he's doing it today. Maybe he brought fish in today and he's eating it up without any confrontation. It's a wild story.
Wow.
It went to 0 to 1,000 real quick.
Right. I mean, that's crazy, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely fish does not smell good in the microwave.
I'm surprised now. I'm surprised that we haven't had the same news stories.
Right. All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
City birds across Europe appear to be more scared of women and fly away from them faster than they can get away from men, and it can't be explained why. Ask me how I know this. Because researchers across France, Germany, Poland, and Spain, and the Czech Republic spent the whole spring of 2023 tracking more than 2,500 birds across the 5 countries and walking straight at them in urban parks to record how close they could get to them before they flew off. Well, the results have finally came back, and birds are less tolerant of women than men.
What the I want that job.
People spent money on this research.
Right. People got paid to walk at birds all day long.
And it took 2.5 years to get the results.
Well, they just had to make sure there was no bias.
Well, I guess I read a little further in the stupidity, and it said that they used men and women of the same height, the same color clothing, and tucked the women's hair back so it wasn't just long and out everywhere to see if there was a difference. And no, they just can tell a woman from a man, and they are not going for the women.
Interesting. I wonder what that looks like when you start throwing trans people into the mix.
Ooh, maybe they should do that study.
Well, right. See, once, and I mean full on, hormones
Right.
and all.
Yeah.
Definitely, and see if it's the same result. Because then you would kind of know that it's female hormones versus male hormones.
Right.
As opposed to maybe some other factor. I don't know. I don't know why they would not like us.
I don't care. I don't like birds, so whatever.
Yeah, it makes me sad. I'm offended.
Please fly away from me.
I love them all. I just want to touch them all.
I don't.
Obviously, I don't have chances of that because they don't like me.
Exactly. And that's just in like the UK. So I mean, maybe the US birds are better. They're more tolerant in 2026, maybe.
I feel like U.S. birds would just take whatever the fuck they can get. Like, you have food,
Right.
I'm your best friend. Yeah, I don't know. That kind of blows up Disney's whole, Disney princesses singing with the birds and
Right.
stuff of that nature. Wow, interesting. Like you said, someone spent money on that.
Yeah, and probably a lot of it.
Probably the taxpayers spent money.
Oh yeah. I wonder if they knew that's what they were spending money on to research.
I mean, the next time they're hiring, hit me up. Let me know.
What would be like?
Check it out.
Why would you even need to know that?
Just what if, though? What if? I mean, someone got curious. They thought up a question. They decided to test it. I mean, that's science for you.
It's like one of those questions on Family Feud. We polled 200 people from. What is the first thing a bird is afraid of?
Nobody ever guesses women.
Right.
They're like traffic, predators, maybe even men, never women.
Lightning. I don't know.
Right. Wow. Interesting. Well, going off the vein of equally ridiculous shit, why don't we get into tonight's topic?
Oh, let's do this shit.
Man, this is so exciting. I know a lot of weird stuff and a lot of very specific topics that other people have never heard of, and they're like, I've never heard of that before. That's crazy. But for me, that was David Huggins. I had not heard about him. It was actually during a conversation of the recording of the podcast, kind of when we sidebar at the beginning of the end, unrecorded. It was me and Nate and Tobias, and Nate and Tobias, for some reason, were talking about it. And I was like, what is this?
It was that recently you found out about David Huggins?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had no clue. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, he's got all these paintings and stuff, and he has sex with all these alien women. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
That makes sense why you never did an episode with Pat on it. Because I was like, this is perfect for Pat. I figured you guys already did it, but no.
Nope, I had never heard of it. And, honestly, looking into it a little bit, I mean, I feel like people know about it because it's so ridiculous, but when you look into it, there really isn't that much about it out there.
Right.
And so, one of the things that I was going to do was I was going to contact David Huggins. And, I don't know if I wanted to see if he wanted to come on the show or just maybe answer some questions. But he's kind of difficult to track down.
Oh, you tried?
I didn't put a full effort into it because I know I know how to contact him. I know how I could do it. But in my mind, I was just going to send him a Facebook message and be like, hey, you want to talk to me?
Oh, okay.
I'm on the show. And he's not that accessible. Whereas now we live in a day and age where everybody is, very accessible. Right. But really, I mean, the only thing that's really out there that's comprehensive about him are his stories that he tells people directly in this fucking documentary, Love and Saucers.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you watch it?
I did. Yeah, I did. And it wasn't, I had watched it back when I had found out about him, of course. I was like, I gotta check that shit out. At the time it was free on YouTube. It's not free now.
Really?
Yeah, it's not free now. I gotta pay for it. You didn't watch it?
No.
Oh god.
I'm not paying for shit.
Missing out.
I'm so cheap.
It really is a lot of fun. I recommend it.
Okay.
But like I said, that is pretty much his comprehensive story. In the documentary, he talks about how he is writing a screenplay based off of his life and his experiences. I've never seen a screenplay. He does have a book. And in the book, so his thing is that he's had these encounters, and we're going to go over them a little bit, obviously, a lot of it, as they're told via the documentary. But he paints his experiences because he did not initially remember them until after the fact. And he seems to have been given permission from aliens to paint the experiences that he had with them. And so that's kind of his way of kind of documenting and remembering these events because he'll kind of, a memory will resurface and he'll be like, oh, I remember that. I better paint it. And he'll paint it. So his book that he has is actually told chronologically from the first time he had an encounter all the way up to kind of modern day. And, it's interesting. I don't have it. I would like to get it. Yeah, so let's get into it. I will say that it starts off just kind of talking to David Huggins himself, who at the time of the documentary was 72. And that came out, I think, in 2017. So he's an old guy, but he is still alive, but he's old. And they make note of, like, he goes on this tangent of talking about he's got this massive VHS collection, and specifically it's horror movies. He's like really into like horror and sci-fi and stuff. And so he's like talking about he's like pulling out different movies, and he's like, oh, I like this one because of this and because of that. He's super passionate about it. And I'm like, you know what? Me and David, like, we could chill. Like,
of course he would like sci-fi movies, man. Look at his life.
Well, and there's a point that they kind of make later on to kind of circle back about the movies and whatever. But like, he really does seem like a genuinely fun guy. Like, he's very charismatic. He's easy to listen to. The documentary is very easy to watch. I really struggle watching these kinds of documentaries most of the time because they're so fucking boring. We talk about that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And in this case, I did not struggle at all. I was entertained the whole time. Like I said, David's really easy to listen to. So I would love to genuinely talk to him one of these days. But why don't we get into why David Huggins is so special? How did you hear about him, Moth Boys?
Yep.
Because they did an episode about it, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, I can't even. A lot of weird shit that I've never heard of before came from them.
Yeah, they cover the stranger of the strange.
Yeah.
Bear with me during all my talking. I have a sore throat, and I have to wet my whistle every little bit. So anyway, David Huggins. So starting off, the first encounter that he can remember happening, he was 8 years old. It was 1952. Okay, he was living in Georgia at the time. He was a farm boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is out on the farm one day, and he hears a voice in his head that said, David, look out behind you. And so he turns around, and what he sees is something in the tree line there of the farm. And he describes it as, quote, a little hairy guy with large glowing eyes.
Okay.
And he said the hairy guy was kind of staring at him, and he was staring back, and eventually the hairy guy retreats and goes back off into the woods. And, I thought that was really interesting because for a story about a guy having sex with a bunch of aliens, I didn't think it would start off with a Bigfoot sighting.
Right.
David has never called this thing Bigfoot, but he has he's painted it quite a bit. And, it's hairy, glowing eyes. We've heard that so many times in Bigfoot lore.
So what would that be in Georgia? Is that the wild man, or is that...
I'm sure the Georgia Bigfoot has a special name, but
Right.
I don't know it, I guess. I've never been to Georgia.
No, me neither.
Yeah. Will's in Georgia right now. My best friend Will.
Oh,
Shout out to Will. Yeah, he'll be listening to this show, I'm sure, while he's there. We'll find out what the Bigfoot is in Georgia, and also where the fuck's my Bob Lazar song?
Come on, Will.
He
I know you're only part-time, but let's go.
He told me he was working on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, I've been working on the Bob Lazar song, so
Take that back, Will. Good job.
Anyway, so I don't know. It's a good question, but yeah, that was the first encounter that he remembers having. It was more of a telepathic communication, except this hairy guy is involved, and we'll get into the hairy guy a little bit later on. Encounter number 2 happens the same year, where he went out to the barn for some reason, and he heard a noise, so he follows the noise, and what he comes upon is a giant praying mantis. It looked like a praying mantis.
Okay.
And this was horrifying to 8-year-old David. So he starts screaming, and when he started screaming, and this is going to get gross later on, the mantis sprays him with a bluish liquid.
Okay.
And this doesn't make David stop screaming, but instead he starts running away. And he says that the bluish liquid started just kind of evaporating really quickly on his skin and was totally gone by the time he got back to the house.
So nobody even believed him.
Nobody believed him. He did start off the whole thing, and I guess I kind of overlooked it, and I shouldn't. We should be honest, by saying that, as a kid, his family members and stuff would say that, he would see shit that wasn't there.
Okay.
He was always reacting or interacting with things or making up stories or, whatever about things that obviously weren't real.
But did he think they were real?
He thought they were real.
Okay.
And so, that's kind of and there's an explanation for that eventually down the road. We'll get there too. A third encounter that he has, 1953, he's with a friend, and him and his friend hear a mooing sound. So
Okay.
they're outside, they're playing, they hear this mooing, and they go to kind of investigate where the moo is coming from, and they had seen, there was like this bush, and David believed this is the first time he was abducted. There was a bush, and poking out over the bush, the head of what we know as a gray alien. And he's looking at it and he's like, what's that head over there? And he says that all of a sudden everything got really bright. Everything. And he's like, why is it so bright? And he fainted. He could kind of remember bits and pieces of several of these grays around him. And he remembers hearing 3 beeps. And then suddenly he woke up in a field of weeds. And that's what he remembers. He doesn't remember anything else about that event. 1954. In 1954, he had an event where he was chased by 7 to 8 of these gray aliens. He was outside, and they show up. They descend from a craft, and they start chasing him. And he runs back home and hides, but they're like still out there. And like he goes to look outside later that night, and they're still fucking out there. And
they wanted him.
And he says that, he went to bed, and they actually came into his bedroom and took him from his bed and floated him up into the craft where there were other beings, one of them being a very tall gray woman.
So you could definitely tell the difference between the women and the men.
The women have hair on their head. Yeah, like we do.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have boobs and stuff. And the women are tall, like they're huge.
Like Avatar.
Yeah.
That's what I picture.
Like an Amazonian. Yeah, they're like they're like massive. And so there is a difference. And the grays just seem to be kind of, I don't know if they're male or just sexless, but they're small. They're he describes them later on as like workers.
Okay.
And we've kind of heard that before in this type of lore. But anyway, so there's the woman, and things don't get too sexy yet. We'll get there. But the woman approached. She had this metal rod in her hands.
That's never good.
And she tips his head back and shoves this metal rod up his nose. And he paints all this, and the encounter that he's painting, like he is like he's a little boy screaming in agony. His nose is bleeding all over the place. And she's like fucking around in there. And when she pulls it out, he's like, ow, you hurt me. And she's like, she says, let me see. And he does. And she waves her hand, and the pain just instantly disappears.
Oh, sweet.
When he describes this event in the documentary, he's like, how we tag like cattle and animals and stuff, kind of implying that this was the process of implanting him.
I can see that. That way they can always come back to him and find him.
Yeah. Like, and maybe that is what it is. So, he goes on to describe the crafts. He's seen several, and they're not different shapes. What he describes are traditional discs, right? Flying, the usual flying disc that we all think of when we think of UFOs. I don't know. Things change now. Maybe you think of the Tic Tac. I don't know.
No, I still like to think of the OG disc.
Flying saucer, right. like a classic saucer, but they're all saucer shaped. Some of them glow, some of them are different colors, some of them are dark and kind of concealed. Um, so nothing unusual from our usual UFO lore. Ugh. Sorry, wetting my whistle.
I figured that's what you were doing. I'm like, whoa, long, awkward pause.
Just feel free to fill them.
Okay.
So, then he goes on to start describing the different beings. Okay, because there's more than just the one. He describes the little grays. Again, he felt like that they were the workers. They did all the bidding for the important people. The hairy guy seems to be part of the crew, and we know this because eventually David kind of enters their world or their craft, or he doesn't really go into detail about where he's at when he's with them, but the hairy guy is there sometimes.
Okay.
So like a Wookiee.
Yes.
Like it's a Wookiee. Then he describes this tall, thin guy with a knob on his head. And the fucking, painting of this guy reminds me of the, oh my god, the Snorks.
Okay.
You remember the Snorks?
Yeah.
The little underwater people with the things in their blowholes. The paintings remind me of that. So
okay.
And he says,
dude,
that,
if you're not in the Patreon, you're going to want to be in the Patreon just to be in the drawing for this month's painting.
I can't wait to see what you come up with. It's gonna yeah, he kind of looks like a snork, but he's tall and thin. And David says of him, he was like the person in charge. And then he also describes the mantis guy. He says the mantis guy was horrifying, but not mean or anything. He said the mantis guy always spoke to him as if he were a child. So I took that to mean not necessarily condescending, but in a very sweet manner.
Okay.
In a nice cadence that you would use to talk to a child. You don't talk to a kid like an asshole. Unless you're an asshole, then whatever. But most of us don't.
Unless you're me. No, I'm joking.
Cassie's mean to kids all the time.
Just mine.
And they all like you.
Let's sidestep for a second. Let me tell you this story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so I have twins, right? You guys know I have twins. 16-year-old boys look identical right now. Like, you can't tell them apart if you didn't know the difference. So I have on my work bulletin board a picture of them in one picture when they were babies, like in their little silver bathtubs with rubber duckies for like a photo shoot. So I have one picture of that. And then on one side, I have a picture of Hunter from 6th grade and a picture of Hunter from like 3 weeks ago. On the other side, a picture of John from 6th grade, a picture of John from 3 weeks ago. Well, they're wearing the same color hoodie. Like, they look exactly the same in these pictures, but it's just a single picture of them. Except John's mannerism is like more feminine, because he's gay. But all the little girls that I work with, for somehow they know Hunter. And they FaceTime with Hunter and have no idea that Hunter has an identical twin brother, right? So they're like, hey, how come, this was on Saturday, how come Hunter looks gay in some of those pictures? Like, why does he look so different? And I was just like, oh, because, Hunter's gay. You guys didn't know that? So I call Hunter later and I was like, hey, all these girls say they FaceTime you and talk to you from here, and they don't know anything about John. Like, you never told him you had a brother. And he's like, well, no. And I was like, well, they asked me why you look gay in these pictures, so I told them that you were gay.
Was he pissed?
Oh, he's like, what the fuck, Mom? It's like, you should probably mention you have an identical twin brother if you're talking to all these chicks.
And I think John would love that story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So there's my little sidetrack.
Oh, man.
So I guess I am kind of mean to kids.
I have a story. I have a kid story that I was starting to tell you on the Patreon, and then we got kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
About my Dracula face.
Mm-hmm.
So, sidebar. So I'm in the bathroom one day, and I have these wax warmers all over my house because I'm that kind of person. And the one in my bathroom's like a nightlight kind. And so my bathroom light, if you flip the switch, the the fan comes on too, like the vent fan. So I
Oh,
don't always
yeah.
turn the light on because I don't want to hear that shit. And I sit down to pee, and right in front of me is like my towel rack, and the nightlight's casting a shadow. And I look at it, and it looks like a decapitated head in the shadow, because it's like, because the towel doesn't touch the ground, there's a nose, a mouth, a chin, and a neck.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I mean, it looked straight up like a decapitated head, but the nose was like extra, like pointy, so it looked like Dracula. Okay,
Okay.
so my daughter is right out, she's right out, and she's not right outside the bathroom, but she's in the house, and I walk out of the bathroom, and I'm like, there's a decapitated head in the bathroom, and she's like, okay, and I'm like, you should go look at it. And she's like, I don't want to see that. I'm like, no, really, come look at it. So she does. She comes and she looks at it, and she's like, "Oh my god, yeah, it looks like Dracula's. Dracula's decapitated head in the bathroom." We kind of joked about it or whatever.
Mhm.
So then I take a shower later that day, right, and hang my towel back up and whatever. And I thought about it. I'm like, "Oh, the head's gonna be gone, whatever."
Mhm.
And the next day, I go to the bathroom again, and I look, and the decapitated head, the head's there again. It's not as prominent. The chin looked like a Superman chin, but the nose was still very much so. It was like Dracula Superman now. And I was like, and at first it was funny, and it's like, oh, it's a Dracula head. Now I'm like, why am I seeing another decapitated head in my bathroom again? That's kind of creepy. So I'm a little freaked out. And I go to tell my daughter about it. I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. The head's back in the bathroom. And then she starts losing her shit. And I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, I put it there. I did it. So she's in there fucking with the towel, making it look like the head again to freak me out. It worked.
Oh, hell no.
Little bastard. That's what you get for having an artist as a child. She's over here in the background cracking up, listening to me tell the story.
I hear. That's amazing, Bailey.
All right. Let's get back to alien sex talk.
All right. Cover your ears, Maylee.
Jeez. So anyway, that was my fun decapitated Dracula head in the bathroom story. All right. So getting back to the story here.
All right.
This is the crew that he's working with, but there's one other person that ends up being very important to David, and her name is Crescent. Okay.
Her name's what?
Crescent.
Oh, okay.
Like the roll?
I thought you said Chrysler. I'm like, that's a weird name.
No, Crescent, like the roll or the moon, I guess.
Right.
Fat ass. I'm like,
Maybe
the
either
roll.
one.
So David met Crescent in 1961, and how he describes it is basically he's on his farmland again, walking around. He's like 16 or 17 at this time. And there is an alien lady randomly in a field. And he sees her. She's wearing this robe. I guess she always wears it because that's what he always paints her in. And again, like you said, how do they know the difference between the aliens or the women and the men? It's because they have hair on the top of their head. It seems to be the only place they have hair. But they do have like stylized feminine hair. And they have feminine physical features like boobs.
Okay.
And vaginas.
Wow. All right.
So David says that when he sees Crescent, he immediately became aroused.
Wow.
Just instantly. His words exactly, he said, quote, "I couldn't get my pants off fast enough."
He's got a type.
he's definitely got a Well, and we kind of speculate, and when I say we, I mean me. Maybe this was on purpose. He wasn't necessarily that attracted to her. I mean, he says she was beautiful, but it was more the alien influence.
Right. Yeah. You can put me in that group of speculating.
Right. So that is, maybe. So, I mean, before he knows it, they are doing the deed, and she's on top. Crescent's always on top.
How old is she? This could be rape.
I think it is rape because he's a minor.
Yeah.
So, But I don't know. Maybe she's 16 or 17 too. I doubt it. But I don't know. So, they're having sex or whatever, and he says he reaches his climax. Which that means he came. He was coming.
Thank you.
Comes all over the place.
My virgin ears didn't know what that meant.
Some people don't know. You gotta be detailed. So he comes all over and stated that it was so intense that it was painful.
Oh wow, that's never good.
And he passed out. That's how crazy. He passed out and didn't wake up until like 20 minutes later.
Okay.
I don't remember if she was gone or she was there and they talked. I don't know how he figured out that her name was Crescent. Unfortunately, in this documentary, because when I start telling those encounters that I shared, they label it as like 1 and 2, and then it skips to 6, and then it skips to 9.
Okay.
So there's more stories out there of David's, and I want to hear them, but we're not told them in this documentary. And to my knowledge, we have never heard them before, except for when he is in public talking to people about it directly.
I wonder why.
I just think he doesn't really, I don't think he really understands that there's like podcasts and stuff he could be going on, or like events that matter. I don't know. I don't really know why. He's not shy about talking about the stuff, obviously, because he paints it and they're graphic. Right. But
he's my kind of person.
Right. Like he needs to, maybe that's it. Maybe he's tried and they're just like, well, we don't want that kind of filth on our show. We do. We want that kind of filth on our show. So whenever David wants to come on,
detail it up for us.
Yeah. Tell us all about it. Like every single detail, every bead of sweat. I want to hear about it.
I want to know if it's blue and dissolves fast.
Well, apparently it does. So, this is the first time he has sex with this alien woman, and things kind of get really strange from there. So in 1963, 2 years later, he leaves Georgia. He goes to New York City to become an artist. That's his passion. He didn't want to be a farm boy. He wanted to be an artist, and that makes sense. So he goes to New York to study art. In 1965, David starts having these really vivid dreams, but they're not so vivid that he remembers everything. He's just kind of remembering bits and pieces of these dreams. He's remembering faces. He's remembering phrases, things spoken to him, and things of that nature. But they're so jarring to him. He wakes up and he can't really get them out of his mind about, what took place.
Mm-hmm.
But the face that he's seeing is this alien woman, Crescent.
Okay.
So he chalks up this plan and he goes, you know what? I'm going to go buy some flowers and I'm going to leave them for her at the bedside. And if she takes them, then I know that she's real. So he goes and he buys some flowers, puts them at the bedside. Before bed that night, he says, these flowers are for you. And he wakes up in the morning and the flowers are gone.
Oh, wow.
So something happened at this juncture, because then they start seeing each other nightly, but not necessarily. They were probably, from what I gather, it's really confusing and weird. Like I said, there's obviously pieces missing from this documentary. Mm-hmm. But
are they missing because he can't remember them?
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I wish they would have asked that and made it a little more known. So I don't know if they're missing because he doesn't remember the encounters, or they're missing because there is just bad storytelling.
Redacted.
It was redacted. It was too dirty. He went in all the details and it was too dirty. So this doesn't matter how it happens. This turns into a thing where they are having sex nightly. Every night they're having sex. And David's saying that that's pretty much like how they spend their time. They just have sex.
Okay, this is a perfect place to pick up. Yep. Okay.
Yes. And so she's always on top. We mentioned that. But the biggest reason why she's always on top is because he's paralyzed while they're having sex.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fun or horrifying.
I mean, he seems to have enjoyed it.
Okay.
He starts referring to Crescent as his girlfriend. She was my girlfriend. And I
Did
don't
Crescent know that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they had a conversation. He doesn't really talk about them having too many conversations. Which
Okay.
I suppose if you've ever dated a man before, I mean, they're not usually interested in having a lot of conversations, so he probably didn't think that was weird.
I have a lot of conversations.
I'm saying if you've dated a man, men don't really want to have a lot of conversations.
Oh no, Brandon talks a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. I could see Brandon being a little chatterbox.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not really sure why he thought that was. I guess because he was having. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just because you have sex with somebody every night does not make them your girlfriend.
No.
Right. I mean,
unless there's like stuff said about it that like a conversation had.
You can't just assume. Like,
right. Don't be mad when they're sleeping with someone else too, because you never finalized it.
Exactly. It's exactly what I'm saying. I feel like she was out having sex with everybody because that was her job. That's what I think. I mean,
that's a good way to play it. Like maybe that was her job.
Yeah. I mean, we'll speculate. We'll speculate eventually.
Okay.
So far right now we're just talking about what David's saying. So that's his girlfriend. Now, so if you guys have listened to the show for a very long time, you've heard this joke over and over and over again where me and Tobias have laughed about the mantis cucks.
Yeah.
That sit in the corner of the room and masturbate. It comes from this story. Because every time David and Crescent had sex, the mantis guy was there watching them. Spewing blue liquid all.
That's why he was so nice all the time.
You might be right about that. He's just always happy to see you. But that's where it comes from. It's, because he was always there. There was never a time they had sex, except for maybe in the woods, but I think he was probably still there, just behind a tree.
He's a praying mantis camouflage.
So
you didn't know he was there until you got the blue liquid on you.
Like, where'd that come from? Did I do that? Didn't know I had it in me. So I don't, that's really that's as in depth of detail as David goes into it. Like, I want to know. I want. Did David like that? Was he cool with it? Like, did he notice him doing anything? I mean, was he jerking off in the background? We don't know because fucking.
I mean, he was paralyzed. He couldn't really do anything about it.
Well, David couldn't, but was he upset that the guy was there?
Obviously not. I don't know.
They kept doing it. So then things start getting weird. This goes on for quite some time. And one day, Crescent shows up. What he said is that a portal would open up in like his apartment or his home on the wall. And that's where they would come through this portal to David. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't like flying crafts and parking them on the roof or anything or on the lawn. They were like coming through this portal. And so one day the portal opens up and Crescent shows up and she's freaking out and she's telling David, "Oh my God, the baby's dying. David, the baby's dying." And he's like, "What baby?" And
well, David, you can't pull out if you're paralyzed and she's on top.
Right. I guess he must not have been paralyzed this time, but this is where it gets really strange because I mentioned this portal. I don't know if she's talking to him like through like a mirror, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Or if she's like, she physically showed up to him because she's like, the baby's dying. And he's like, well, I have to come there. I have to see. She's like, it's your baby, that's dying. And he's like, well, I want to see my baby. Like, let me come there wherever, wherever there is. Sometimes it's on the back. Sometimes it's on the stomach. I shouldn't mix cum and babies. That's really gross. I'm sorry. I'll stop doing it.
Well, that's how they're made.
No, well, that's true. That's a good point. But he's like, I need to come there. I need to see my baby. And she's like, you can't come here. Don't come here. Don't get here. And he's like, watch me. And he goes there by going to sleep. He says none of this makes any fucking sense. He goes and he lays down and he goes to sleep. And when he goes to sleep, he's able to travel to wherever there is. And again, I don't know if it's a planet. I don't know if it's a ship. I don't know that he knows.
Okay.
Exactly where there is. But somehow he can get to it by falling asleep.
Okay.
But he says something later on when he's talking about his paintings. And in one of the paintings, he's like, this is a painting of my other body. So again, I think there's a big chunk of the story that's missing because of the documentary filmmakers, not because David didn't tell them.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So, and again, those are the details I want to know. But this is what he says in the documentary. You can check it out yourself. Anyway, so he goes there. And there's a baby. She's holding a little baby. And it's not really moving. So David, he's overcome with emotion because this is the first time he's hearing about this baby. Second of all, it's dying. And he says that he doesn't know. He said it was like static electricity and he can't explain it. But when he reached out and he touched the baby, it moved. And he kind of had like healed it in a way. So he's like, oh my God, the baby moved. This is amazing. The mantis, though, he's there. And
of course he is. He's everywhere.
He really likes Dave. That's his girlfriend, is the mantis.
It's this. Okay, I'll explain this after, like, you get done with this.
this particular story. So the mantis is pissed off that David showed up. You shouldn't be here. And David's like, well, it's my baby. I have to help my baby. And the mantis is like, oh, I can never stay mad at you, David. You're my favorite. Come with me. And the mantis takes David off into this room, and he goes into the room, and David describes it as it is a room filled with, quote, tons of babies. And they're all very sickly, and they're not doing good. And, David's overwhelmed. And he's like, oh my God, whose babies are these? And the mantis points at him. They're his babies.
All of them.
All of them are his babies. And so this is what David says. They're all sickly. So he says, so I go in there and, they weren't doing good. So I touched them all. And I'm assuming he healed them all. I guess. I don't know how many babies there are. I tried to kind of find more details on that. Some people say 60. Some people say hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if David knows how many there were.
Probably not.
Well, he touched all of them, so
right.
It'd be like 101 Dalmatians.
Oh shit!
This one's Stripe, and this one's Spike, and this one's Spot, and this one's Angela.
Just got them all.
So anyway, I don't know. I don't know how many there are, but then he tells another weird story that takes place like a couple years later, where he's like having a mental breakdown because he thinks that the babies are dying and he's blaming himself. He said there was like an impulsive voice in his head that was saying like, the baby's dead. The baby's dead. It's your fault. The baby, it's dead. Even though there's babies, but eventually Crescent comes to him and she's like, the baby's not dead. And then she brings out the baby and it's fine. And
all 530 babies, like,
yeah, they're all okay. But this again happened. It seems to have happened a couple years after the initial baby incident. I don't know if they continue to have babies and there's more of them. I don't know. It just seemed like the only reason why they included this story is to show that like it is taking a toll on David's real everyday life. Not that this isn't real, but what I mean is just his regular person life.
Right.
So okay. So then it gets super murky about what happens from there. It seems like after he had that weird mental breakdown, Crescent was like, this is getting a little weird for me. And so
the alien said it's getting too weird.
Well, she didn't say that, but it just seems the way he tells it that they start kind of distancing themselves from him.
Right.
And they just kind of start visiting less and less. And eventually David kind of gets on with his life. He actually gets married to a human woman, has a child with her. His name's Michael. And he didn't remember any of the stuff happening, and that's where he kind of discloses it after he tells all the story. All that shit he just told us, this is all recovered memory after the fact.
Oh, wow.
And so he said that whenever stuff like this happens, they would erase his memory.
Okay.
And the only reason why he remembered was because, for whatever reason, Bud Hopkins, which, if you're into UFOs, you should know who Bud Hopkins is. He's got a book out there, and it's becoming a big deal. And David describes himself being drawn to Bud Hopkins and his book, and he sought it out. Was never into this stuff, but sought out this book, sat down and read it, and there was a very specific chapter about having sex with aliens that it just kind of came flooding back to him. And he's like, oh my God, I've never told anybody about this, and I'm just now remembering about my first love, Crescent. And I don't know, the way he talks about it is that, he has a meeting or something with the beings. Again, missing information, I feel like, but there's some type of meeting where they all agree that now that David is remembering these things, that he should start painting. So he does. That's what he
start does. What? You cut out again.
He should start painting.
Okay.
What's happening? That time it was my cat. He jumped on my keyboard. Fucking animals. But so he does. So he starts painting the memories as they're kind of flooding back to him, and this is where we have his massive collection, and there's so fucking many of these paintings. And they're good. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. Some of them are really ridiculous. Some of these memories that he brings up, they just kind of go through them really quickly as he's kind of going through different paintings. And I'm really disappointed because we don't get those stories. So he's going through these paintings and he brings one up and he's like, oh, this is from that time that there was the tiny alien in a package. And it's like a picture of like an alien that's like packaged up like an action figure.
Awesome.
And he's like, he was like, I saw it. They handed it to me and I saw it was alive and it kind of freaked me out. So I gave it back. Then he talks about another instance where he's surrounded by all these alien women, and he paints this, and he is ejaculating into a bowl, like a glass bowl.
Yeah.
And he paints it in very graphic detail. He talks about all these other alien. There's not just Crescent. He's having sex with all these other alien women. And he talks
that's where
about
all the babies came from.
That's where they all come from. He talks about having sex with like, one that's like extra massive. Like she was really big. Like, and I liked it, I guess. He talked about it like it was great. He said it was good sex. So, I'm like, there's so much missing here. I need more of this. And, then it goes on. It shows, they don't talk to David's ex-wife. He does eventually disclose to his wife, starts to disclose to her what's happened to him, but she doesn't want to hear any of it. So they get divorced. Takes a toll on them. They get divorced. His son, though, they do an interview with his son, and he's just like, I don't know. This has just always been a part of our life. Like, I don't know any different. Is it happening? Sure. Why not? I don't have any reason to doubt my dad. He's a great dad. So they're very much still, have a relationship, which is great. It has different neighbors. It has his job. His boss at his job is like, yeah, I think this did happen to him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And his boss is like a very New York Italian deli owner. It's great. He's like, I never seen anything like that, but yeah, I think there's aliens, and yeah, I think it happened to him. I think he's genuine. They interview all these people that know David, and they're like, it's strange, but why not? David's super nice, and he does seem super nice, and so a lot of these people are vouching for him. really interesting. And then it mostly ends there. He does an art show in the documentary, and people show up, and some people show up and they're like, yeah, this happened to me too.
Right.
And
Like, I can see that happening a lot, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like there's this one guy, and like I know he probably talked to David for hours. I know that kind of guy. I've met that kind of guy. But he says it happened to him too. He doesn't remember as much as David does, but he remembers some of it. And then there's people that just show up and they're like, yeah, it's really interesting. There's people that show up and they're just really into art, and they're like, it's really beautiful. Like you can really feel it. It's very impactful pieces of art and seems genuine. And then that's it, basically. That's the end of it, pretty much. And that's the story from David's perspective as far as what we know. Like I said, there's a lot of missing parts that make me sad. David does still claim that he is still in contact with the beings, but definitely not as much as before. I don't know if they're still having sex.
Probably not. He's kind of old now.
Yeah, he's very old. But that does end up kind of being the gist of the whole thing. So let's talk about what we think about David's story. Because, initially when you're like, you got to watch this documentary, it's about this guy who thinks he has sex with a lot of alien women, it sounds really ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The whole thing sounds really ridiculous. It's hard for me to make any type of professional assessment of this whatsoever, because I do feel like there's just too much missing for me to fairly do that. But it does sound ridiculous.
Well, one, I don't want to make a professional assessment about this because he's not hurting anybody.
He's not hurting anybody.
The story's great.
It is a great story. Yeah. I mean, whether or not it's real or fake, it is a great story.
Right.
I don't know. There's some things that are questionable, like when he says that, when he was a young kid, he would see things that weren't there or whatever. I mean, he could have mental illness.
He could.
When this all kind of came to light, he was like almost in his 40s, which is when a lot of men really develop a lot of mental illness. So again, it could be mental illness, but he seems of sound mind. Again, I've never had a conversation with David. I really can't make that judgment. But I want to believe his story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, whatever, whether this be mental illness or not, I believe that David believes this really happened to him. I don't think he's making it up, on purpose. I don't think he has sat and dreamt up this as a story. He is an artist, but I think this world that, he talks about is a little too vast for him to have just come up with on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So what's going on here? They just love David, Why?
Why not?
Why not? It was just, so the couple is obviously Crescent and the Mantis guy.
Right.
To me. And they're just trying to have some freaky fun, and they use David for it. I don't know. I don't know if it's that. Again, this could be her job.
That's true.
To make babies.
And that makes sense to me. So, just knowing how many babies there actually were in that room.
There were a lot of them. Well,
it seems like that could be the female sex's job, honestly, if he was having sex with all these different women and had tons of these babies.
Is to just go make babies. But why human men?
Testing.
I think. You want to know what I think?
Yeah, I do.
I think we're going to pretend that this is totally real and it absolutely happened.
Okay.
Something has happened to the male species. The male version of whatever the species is.
Okay.
I think that the fact that there are different types of beings in this situation, these beings kind of found each other and they're trying to create a new civilization. Because the little grays, believe it or not, are different from the tall gray women. The tall gray women, they have gray faces, but their bodies are human colored.
That's what I was gonna mention when I was when you were talking, and I said we'll come back to this because the face is an alien, but the body is definitely human.
It's human, right? So that's weird. I don't know, maybe they themselves are hybrids from a hybrid program, and they can only, just like you get with like mules, right?
Mhm.
Or ligers. When you kind of have that interbreeding happen, that they're not supposed to be able, not interbreeding, but when you breed, those species are not supposed to be able to procreate, but they do. And the different sexes of those creatures will make different mixtures. So a liger, I don't know, I might get this backwards because I'm not looking right at it, but a liger is like a female tiger and a male lion.
Okay. I didn't actually ever, like, I knew a liger was a lion and a tiger, but I didn't know, like, one of them had to be female and the other one had to be male. That was, like, that
Right.
specific.
Like the specific species is specific.
I
But
literally just know it from Napoleon Dynamite.
but if it's a female lion and a male tiger, then it's a tigon. It's not a liger. They are different. Their like DNA is different. Like their structure is different, just slightly, but they're different enough to be considered like a different species. And so mules also are like that. They are the product of a horse and a donkey, but it has to be like this like specific sex to this specific species in order to get a mule. Otherwise, you won't get a mule at all. So maybe
Okay.
that's the case with these things. I don't know.
Right.
Um, that's just one speculation. But going back to the different species, like obviously the short grays are different from the tall gray women. There's only tall gray women. There's no tall gray men. The little grays seem to be sexless, potentially even robotic. They may not be personalities at all.
Oh, okay.
And maybe they just made these little robots in their likeness to again do their bidding. There's that guy with the knob on his head, the snorkel guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is that? The little hairy guy. I mean, these are all, and then the mantis, they're all obviously different species.
Yeah.
So something has happened that has kind of brought these misfit, stragglers from some worlds
It's
together.
like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it is. Maybe there's some inspiration.
You got a raccoon, a tree,
It is.
a green alien, a human, like
And they're all together, and they can't procreate together for whatever reason.
right.
But they're trying to build a civilization. It may be based off of a civilization that they've lost. So now they have these couple of women that can get pregnant, but they can only get pregnant by human earthly, or maybe they can get pregnant by other species too. Maybe they're going around the fucking universe, fucking everything that moves to figure out what they get. I don't know. But the way that David describes it again is a very beautiful, very loving relationship, and I don't agree with that, David. I think you were gaslit. I think you were a sex slave.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I think he wanted it to be a beautiful, loving relationship, but that is not what it was.
It's not what it was, And it's okay to be like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a great time, but it wasn't love. Because I don't think it was love, unless again, there's big chunks of the story missing that we're not getting. But he has his own questions, and who wants to feel used, So I don't blame him for trying to make it a little more special than maybe it was.
Yeah, like even if he doesn't believe it was a beautiful, loving relationship, like he wants to make himself believe it.
Poor guy.
Because he's got all these kids out there, man.
And he mentions that. He's like, Michael, he's got all these half siblings, and then Michael never talks about it. I want to know what Michael thinks about all that. Like they had Michael on for a minute, but there's no like in-depth conversation. And I want to know more. I'm so hungry for more of this story. And someone's got to get it before David dies. And fuck, man, I guess that someone's gonna have to be me.
Yeah, who else better to do it than you? You will ask the right questions.
And we'll get along great. We'll bond over horror movies. Me and David. We'll be good friends.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. Like I said, there's more that I want to know. And maybe David doesn't have answers to these questions.
And he might not. Like, he might not remember these parts.
Yeah, he might not. You know, some people had commented on the documentary about how they enjoy the fact that it's not just making fun of David, and it's not at all. They do it in a really respectful way, and I agree with that. You know, I'm not here to make fun of the guy. Again, he sounds really cool, actually.
The story is amazing. Like hey, like I'm not gonna make fun of that because if you believe it, that's awesome. Like if that happened, that's the best story ever.
It's a really good story. Yeah, one of the coolest that I've come across in this field. You know, it is, you know, really amazing, and who knows? Who knows why it happens? You know, I would like to try to get him to ask some questions to these beings. I mean, I'll take the injured cold route. I don't care.
Yeah.
Come see me, Crescent and Mantis. Maybe not the Mantis guy. He sounds like a creeper.
I don't think you really have a choice. If you get Crescent, you get the Mantis.
But you know, other people have told me. So I had one person who wants to be anonymous, but somebody I know on a personal level, knew way before I did any of this stuff, asked me out one time to sit down and tell me their story that they had never told anybody. And it was that they had woken up in the middle of the night and saw one of these mantises. And you know, I had this conversation before I found out about David Huggins. And since I have found out about him, I don't have the heart to tell this person as their friend. I think that mantis was jerking off in the corner of your bedroom.
Did they say anything that would like lead to that? Like,
Just no, it was standing there,
okay,
and they weren't paralyzed, like they couldn't move, but they were paralyzed in fear.
okay.
You know, and things like that. They were very, very terrified, and after a little while, they just went right back to sleep. But felt like that was not by choice. You know, they were kind of willed back to sleep. But what else was that mantis doing in there?
What if this is like the race of extraterrestrial that everybody's afraid is going to take over, and like in reality, it's just a fucking mantis jerking off in your corner of your bedroom at night?
Just a fucking gooner.
They really think it's because they're way more intelligent than us, but they're really just coming down here to jerk off in the corner.
Fucking jerking it. And you wouldn't know because whatever it is that they're jerking out evaporates really quickly, I hear.
Right.
So
There's no proof.
they leave no trace behind.
I wonder if like one of those like black lights the cops use would work.
Oh, that's a good. We got to figure this out somehow.
Right.
The only way to find out is to invite them in, to invite them over to your house.
I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I'll ask Tobias. They're always at his house, he says. So
Okay.
we'll have him do it and do a little black light test. He can come on the show and share his results.
I mean, if that's all they're literally going to do is just jerk off in the corner, I mean, bring it on.
It's just, I mean, so far, you know, I want to dig into more. And I suppose I have been told these stories about these mantis things. Like, it is a species of alien that people talk about, but not a bunch. But like I said, and before I knew about David, this just sounds like a terrifying encounter. But now that I know like David's situation, I'm like, holy shit, it was just a fucking pervert, which is still terrifying. Don't get me wrong, like, but it changes things a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you think they think about how praying mantises have sex in our world?
Maybe that's why that's why he has to jerk off, because he's afraid of females.
That's why there's only one man left.
Yeah.
Is because all the female mantises.
He's like, oh, hail to the gnaw.
That won't be me, right? But I still want to get my rock off, so gotta find a way.
See, that part makes sense if you think about it.
That does actually. Man, I hate
or
to say
maybe he's not even with his people. That's why he's with these like gray human alien chicks, is because he didn't want to get his head bit off.
He's like,
so he left.
Too many of my brothers.
Yeah. That's why there's only one of them. Like it's literally a misfit crew.
And that's what it is. All of them have maybe something, and maybe it's sexual in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Somehow the knobhead guy was never a part of any of David's sexual stories, as far as I know. But like you don't have a knob on your head and you're around a bunch of freaks and you don't use it.
Probably not. I mean,
But
maybe he's a male that they took from another planet. That while like the female aliens are here with David, the other ones are there with the knobhead guy.
he's like supposed to use his knob head, but he's asexual, so he doesn't. So he's ostracized. This is like the island of misfit toys.
He didn't tell him that he was shooting blanks, and now they don't know what to do with him.
He just left the community. I'll go somewhere else.
Right?
I'll take care of these incubator babies. Can't have my own. Yeah, it's just a fucking ragtag team of oddities and weirdos like us.
That's fine.
So I mean, really,
I like it.
right? Really, I mean, gosh, the more you look into it, yeah, David's story it kind of is beautiful.
I mean, the way that he puts it, yes, it is.
The way that he views things.
It is very, very beautiful.
I'm gonna have to track him down, and like I said, I can do it.
It's kind of strange, but that's just because it's not our normal. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I've never been in that situation. I've been to a lot of sexual events and had a lot of sexual encounters in my life. I've had more sex with more people than most of you will probably ever even see in your whole life. But I've never been a part of that.
No. No,
Maybe I need
not at
to.
all.
I don't know.
But I like it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, you gotta try at least once.
And you can go to forloveandsaucers.com and you can buy prints of David's paintings.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, because I don't want a print of David's painting. I want an original.
I know, I was trying to look for it.
Yep, and I could not find anywhere
Nope.
to find one.
Nothing.
The prints are $70.
Yes.
7
Yes, they are.
0 for a print.
But that nursing one might be worth it.
I do want one really fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I want an original. So that's another motivator for me to reach out to David. Like, how can I get one of these?
Like, where are your paintings, man?
Right, where I don't get. They have to be somewhere. Like I said, he had that art show in the documentary. I think he's had others.
Mhm.
Surely he sells them.
Yeah.
And they're probably crazy expensive. But how expensive? Like, are we talking Banksy expensive?
Probably not.
300 to
I'm
400.
not going to go with Banksy. And if something happens to him, his son might literally just want to give them away.
Yeah, can you imagine your dad having all these paintings of him having sex with aliens all over the
Right.
place?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they mean something to David, but do they mean something to Michael?
They're not all sexual,
No, not at all.
but there are some very graphic.
Yes.
Very graphic. But
I was trying to look at that one that's in the woods of Crescent on top of him to see if I saw like a hidden mantis somewhere, but I didn't see one.
Oh, but he's there. He is. We should have we should talk to Eric about in his artwork now. Just everyone, just add a little mantis in the background.
Oh,
Like
if you tell him the story behind it, he'll definitely do it.
Oh yeah, he would be so into that.
Mm-hmm.
Just everyone, doesn't have to be a big deal. Just like a little fun.
Right.
There's that one guy. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. He does Bigfoot art, but he like hides Bigfoot. In
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, Eric could do that, but with mantises. And we all know why.
Jesus.
I think he would do it. I think he'd be down.
Oh,
to
he
do it.
would for sure.
Gosh. So anyway, like I said, this is the end of today's story, but it's not the end of the story.
No, there's
because-
definitely gonna be trying to get more out of this.
Well, I'm gonna reach out to David. And
I saw that the people that made the documentary had to like find out who his neighbor was and reach out to the neighbor to get a hold of him.
Yeah, I think that he is a little more difficult to get a hold of, but I don't think that he it's not like Ray Shockey with the Frogman. Like, you cannot get him to respond.
Right.
David wants to talk about this.
Oh, he does.
He's just
And
an
he's
old.
such a cute little old guy. Just looks like a regular grandpa.
Love him. Yeah. Well, in the middle of the documentary, he shaves his beard. I didn't like that at all. I was like, ew. I'm disgusted.
Wow.
And that's what it took. Was him
Mhm.
removing the facial hair. I was like, that's gross.
Like, you gotta have a beard, man.
But no, I think that he would be more than willing to talk about it. It's just a matter of getting into contact with him. And I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to be impossible. But I don't want to dox him either. So sorry, guys, you're just going to have to wait. But maybe if I get a hold of him, if I can get him on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
I will record that conversation and put it on Patreon. Patreon.com/Wednesdays Talk. And we might get him to come on the show eventually.
Yeah.
For everybody in person. But, I'd have to really sit and kind of really sit with myself and think about how to have him tell these stories, because he seems to tell the same stories over and over again, which is fine. But we want something different. We want those questions answered, right? That we didn't have answers to. So
I guess basically you just come at him with the questions that you have and be like, can you answer these? Like, or is there no like recollection of them? Like, let's just get that out of the way first.
yeah, clear this up. And then, as far as like modern day goes, well, and again, this was made in 2017. Maybe now, almost 10
Right.
years later, they don't visit him at all. We don't know.
Mhm.
But let's figure that out, right? Let's figure that out together. So, definitely want to jump in on that. I'll let you guys know on the Patreon if I have any updates, in regard to getting into contact with David, and, seeing about getting him on here and what we can do. I think that'd be great. And, also I need your support because I'm going to buy me a David Huggins original.
We gotta figure out how much these are going for.
Can't find it. I think there's one allegedly on eBay, but I don't even know if it's his.
Right.
So it's like, how do you
And
know?
there's one guy called David Higgins that you have to be super careful with because those pop up with Huggins.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to go right to the source and be like, what?
But you'll
Well-
definitely know the Huggins ones.
And if I got to find a ride to go physically go pick it up from him, because he probably doesn't have any clue how to ship anything,
Oh no. We'll get it.
I got to get one of these. Yeah. That's like on my bucket list of life. Like, I want a David Huggins original. I don't care which one it is. Any of them. A print is not good enough. I need one from the hands of the man that touched the titties of the alien.
Right. And I kind of I don't think the For Love and Saucer site is actually David Huggins' site. Do you? Like, is that just
No.
the movie site?
Yeah.
Like, is that them jacking up the price to $70?
It is. Yeah. It's definitely. Yeah. And they probably paid him for like the rights to use
Oh yeah.
the artwork, but it probably wasn't much. And you know how it is as an artist. David was probably just happy to have his art showcased and something like that. But no, I don't think he's making it. I would like to know, are you making any money off of this? How can we as a community support you?
Right.
Because the man works at a deli. He's not a millionaire.
Like, we're trying to get a shop up. Can we do a David Huggins t-shirt?
Yeah, probably. We could have him
Instead of like the Starry Night print, we can have a Huggins print on our t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like,
he said, so he did make a claim one time that, he did try to paint an event that didn't happen, that he just kind of made up.
mhm.
And the aliens got pissed off at him
Oh.
and was like, you can only paint things that actually happened. Like, that's the rule. You can't just make stuff up. And made him destroy the painting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to be careful. Whatever it is he paints, it's got to be what happened to him.
Mhm.
A version of what happened to him. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes. Again, it's a really fun story. It's not even that ridiculous. It's not the most ridiculous.
It's not like this episode went way off from what I thought it was going to be from other episodes that I've listened to about him. This was more of a serious, like heartfelt, like this guy's story is awesome, where other people just like make fun of him. I don't want to do that.
No, I believe you, David.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you are, I do. I believe your story. I want to hear more of it. I just want to hear them details and maybe make contact with your single alien friends.
For being a comedy podcast and doing this episode, it might be the least funny episode we've ever done.
Well, I agree with that, but we did handle it very maturely,
Right.
as mature as we can with this type of situation. No, because I think I honestly, again, it does sound ridiculous, and I know what you mean. Yeah, people are definitely poking fun at it, but when you really sit and think about it, David's not the only one to report having sex with aliens.
Right. Not at all.
There are more people out there that have similar stories,
And people like report having sex with like ghost,
oh yeah, we got to do a ghost sex episode.
an incubus, and a succubus.
Talk about the entity
Yeah.
case. Yeah. That would be cool. Not me. I don't
No.
get that. But
The strange addiction lady that does ghost blowjobs.
oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
I just want to see that in public one day.
A public ghost blowjob. You think they do it in public?
I want to. I don't. She was doing it in her kitchen, talking to her mom.
Can you get arrested for giving a ghost a blowjob in public?
Not really sure.
We should call the American Fork Police Department and ask them. They would think we're trolling.
Oh yeah,
We kind of are, but I'm
it's a serious question. It sounds stupid as shit, but come on now.
Right, she's clothed, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, how
Can't
does that
see
work?
anything
Right. I don't. All right.
unless
well,
you're a psychic, maybe.
true.
You get the one police officer that's a psychic medium that sees dead people. You're like, what the fuck?
I didn't have enough coffee for this shit. We should make a movie about that.
Right?
And he's trying to figure out how to charge these people with
Is it like indecent exposure, public indecency, like
obscenity,
right, like necromancy, like necrophilia?
rape, maybe? Well, if she likes doing it, I mean, but
Improper use of a corpse, like I don't get it.
yeah, how do we that's a good question. That's solid. I really am very curious what the answer is to that one. So maybe we'll get to the bottom of that too. But
Oh, there's lots of weird shit we could get to the bottom of if we just knew who to ask.
just gotta ask the right questions to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before I lose my voice, because I feel like it is trying to skip town on me
Yeah.
to go run away with alien women. Any final thoughts on anything that we talked about?
No, we did this one pretty good, I think. It's good.
I have so many thoughts about it, but
I do, but we need him to answer them.
yes, exactly. Like to be
Like me and you going back and forth is not going to answer these questions.
No, we definitely we need more answers. We need to find out more, and we will. I'll do it. I promise. Again, the man's old. He's not going to be around forever. Someone's got to get to the bottom of this, and yeah, it's going to be me. So,
But everyone else, please send us your weird stories so we can make an episode on them at, go ahead, Asher, tell them where to send them.
SubmitWeird@gmail.com. Anything you want to. Answer the question about the arrested for ghost blowjobs. I mean, whatever it is you guys want to send to us, we'll talk about it.
And David Huggins, if you Google your name and see this episode and you want to submit your stories, please send it to us.
Yeah, definitely send us your weird stories, send us your strange questions, whatever it is that's on your mind that you want to talk to us about, you want to hear us talk about. SubmitWeird@gmail.com. And if you want to sit and talk to us directly and have your chance to be entered into what I assume is going to be a mock David Huggins by Cassie herself for the upcoming Patreon art giveaway, you got to join us. Patreon.com/Wednesdays Talk.
It will be Huggins because I am not touching Robert the doll.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable doing that, even if I do ask permission.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. But yeah, it'll be whatever it is. It'll be fantastic. But you don't get to win it if you don't join. Actually, 2 of our Patreon members have won twice now.
Yeah,
So I
one's
mean,
won 3 times.
really, somebody won 3 times.
Chris won 3 times.
Wow. Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys gotta join in on the fun. That way we can gift you with some cool stuff and then come and talk to us at the monthly meetup, or just sit back and listen to us talk at the monthly meetup. We don't care. We'll be there.
I've been posting like groups of 5 yokais on the Patreon, so you get a little dose of the yokais. And I posted the first chapter of my next story today
Oh my
over on
gosh.
Patreon.
And of course, ad-free episodes.
Yes,
The ads, you don't have to listen to them. $2 a month. You don't have to listen to the ads.
ads don't really bother me. It's the fact that like they just pop up out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're so much louder than the episode, it scares the shit out of me.
You're like, why?
Yeah.
I always fast forward through them. But again, you don't have to worry about that if you pay at least the $2 on the Patreon, and if you pay the $5, then you get all the other great stuff we talked about. So,
I can listen to it on the Patreon, but I never even thought about it till right now to listen to the ad free on the Patreon.
well, you only listen to it when you're not here. So,
I know, but still,
why would you think about it? Yeah, but you could. Yeah, you're right. You could. You're allowed. You're a part of
I
the
had
show.
to listen to it last week, so I was like, "Wow, why didn't I fucking think of that?"
It's just money that goes right back into your pocket.
Right?
You did yourself a favor. If you're gonna listen to it anyway, you might as well make money doing it.
And you know what? We're slacking on this merch store, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. I've got some ideas actually, but definitely want to get that up and running. I want to get a website up and running. There's some things in the works. So if just stay tuned for more. And yeah, so I guess with that being said, guys, we'll see you back here next Wednesday.
Bye.